What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Leviathan, entitled Scar-Sighted. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Now, in my honest, humble opinion, I would consider Leviathan to be one of the most prolific and important bands within US black metal currently. Leviathan is, of course, a one-man project formed by a guy by the name of Jeff Whitehead, whom you may also best know under the name of Wrest. This is such an incredibly scary and prolific individual, creating just some incredibly deep and destructive and chaotic black metal. Very accomplished discography, I would say. The first couple of albums under the Leviathan name, The 10th Sublevel of Suicide and Tentacles of Horror, just some amazing material, very thought-provoking, very scary, and just straight out an assault on the senses. I really enjoyed those records greatly. But then after those records, there began to take a shift in sound began to form around, still maintaining the deep, dark sides of black metal, but almost verging into more ambient and depressive territories, notably with albums such as A Silhouette and Splinters, and another album I would consider a very huge highlight within Leviathan's discography, Massive Conspiracy of All Life. What a marvelous album. The last time we had heard a record from Leviathan was 2011's True Traitor, True Whore. Just a very putrid, ugly, and just straight out venomous piece of black metal. Once again, another assault on the senses. Music-wise, vocal-wise, presentation, just so evil sounding. And that's what I really enjoyed about that record. I mean, it was an album that was apprehensive to me at first, but yet it grew on me more and more every time I listened to it, and I eventually ended up loving it. But it's been, I would say it's been 4 years since that record, and there's been a lot of growth and within Wrest's mind and psyche. He's pretty much refreshed, reborn, and ready to make a new record. And this new record being his 6th full-length entitled Scar-Sighted. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 64 minutes in length. And pretty much, this album, I would say, is one of the most daring, bold, and most ballsy records that I've ever heard Leviathan do. And I would say that he has recaptured his place in black metal with an album like Scar-Sighted. Hell, even listening to this album, you can tell that there are moments that straight out freak you out and make you wonder what type of a record you're listening to. It can verge from straight out black metal to almost dark ambient to almost death metal to even funeral doom in certain places. There is a lot of variety and detail being presented here with Scar-Sighted. And one thing to point out about this album easily is the production quality. I think this is a very top-notch production presence being shown here on this album. Every track of instrumentation being presented here, the soundscape, the sound quality, I definitely think this is a bang-up job, and I think this is probably one of the best sounding albums I've ever heard Leviathan do. Definitely a far cry from some of the raw material that has come out from this band in the past, but it definitely maintains the classic Leviathan qualities that you would best associate with. But of course, as I mentioned, Wrest being a one-man project, he plays everything and does everything. He is a marvelous musician, and it definitely showcases itself here with Scar-Sighted. Take tracks like The Smoke of Their Torment and Wicked Fields of Calm. Just some incredibly marvelous song structuring going on here. It can go from straight out calm to just straight out insane. I love the insanity that those songs bring. Even to where there are breaks in the songs where you feel like you're entering a different sort of world. Like on the 4.5-minute mark of The Smoke of Their Torment, I think it verges into a completely different song for just a few moments. And then it goes straight back into what it normally sounded like. Then you have songs, once again, like Wicked Fields of Calm, where, once again, you have a different piece of instrumentation being presented to you. And it throws you for a loop, and you don't even know what to expect. Then you get to the title track, which I believe is the longest song on here. The riffs on that track definitely make it sound as though you're listening to a funeral doom song. It is just so crazy, and I think Wrest pulls that aspect of that song off perfectly. But then soon after the long break of the song, you get right up into a more venomous, modern sort of black metal song. And I really find it to be absolutely phenomenal, the song structuring and intelligence that's being presented on that track. I think the bass work is incredible too. I definitely think he is a very, very solid bassist, especially on the track Within Thrall. I think the bass work on there is very amazing to listen to, but I definitely think it holds itself very well throughout this entire release. This is more of a showcase for the riff work, the chaotic structuring, the tremolo riffs, just the overall smart intelligence being presented here with the guitars. His drum work is on point too. I definitely consider Wrest to be an amazing drummer, and he showcases the diversity of his drumming with this album. Lots of creative blast beats and fills, just a lot of great syncopation being presented, a lot of fast moments, a lot of different breaks. Once again, I go back to the song The Smoke of Their Torment. Just the break in that song, it definitely has somewhat of a jazz-esque sort of element going on with that song, and I find that to be so insane and crazy. The breaks, the syncopations, the delivery of everything, it's just so phenomenal, and I love his drumming style being presented here. And when it comes to the vocals, I definitely think that Wrest shows you how intimidating of a vocalist he can really be. Very rough and rugged, very torturous, very much in pain. It definitely has that sort of idea and approach going for his vocal style. I mean, you hear instances of singing on tracks like Within Thrall, and then you have some spoken word elements that definitely shake you to your core just a little bit. But then when you hear his venomous roaring and growling and wailing, it is just marvelous to listen to. I definitely think he is the type of person to hold your attention with whatever he's talking about. His lyrics, his vocal delivery, definitely something to behold and just stand back in awe of. I definitely think that Wrest delivers a vocal performance that is just so marvelous to listen to. And I would definitely say that in the first 3 months of this year, I found my album of the year for now. I would say Scar-Sighted is definitely the best thing I've listened to so far this year. I love the diversity. I love the fact that it doesn't stick with just being a black metal record. It dares to be different, and it dares to cross into newer sort of boundaries. I applaud Jeff Whitehead for making a record that is just so moving, so deep, so intelligent, and definitely will make the listener think. If you're a fan of Leviathan, if you're a fan of what he's put out in the past, you will find something immensely wonderful to enjoy with Scar-Sighted. I definitely feel that this is the album that was really supposed to come right after Massive Conspiracy of All Life, and I think that with all the time and effort being put into this, I definitely think this is album of the year material. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say The Smoke of Their Torment, Gardens of Coprolite, Wicked Fields of Calm, Within Thrall, and the title track. I definitely think the title track is just so wonderful to listen to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to the Profound Lore Records Bandcamp page where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, and you can also buy it in this very, very well done box. Once again, Profound Lore does some incredible packaging here. Of course, you have the glossy Leviathan logo, and then of course you have a new Leviathan logo going on here. You have Scar-Sighted on the left and right side of the box, and once you open the box, you get some really awesome artwork cards, and there is a card for pretty much every single song that's on here. Definitely wonderful artwork to look at and go through. And then of course you have this sleeve with the actual CD in it as well. I believe there is going to be a vinyl version of this being put out through Leviathan sometime later in the year. So once that is out, I'm pretty sure there will be a very high demand for it. So if you're a Leviathan fan, definitely pick this one up. Let me show you the album again. This is Scar-Sighted by Leviathan. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Buy this, mandatory purchasing, and I'm going to give this the highest score I can possibly give, and that is a perfect 10 out of 10. For now, this is at the top of the heap for me. This is Album of the Year material, so support Leviathan. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Army Ho out.